Well, I have a strange story to tell. It's about my crown. I connected it to the symbols. I sat it on top of the symbols every day, all night, and I do the symbols as I do the same with Reiki symbols, and draw the symbols over it in the air, and connected it. It took a few weeks, and now it's finally connected because the symbols cause Louise headaches. If I use symbols on her, she gets massive headaches. And I tried to heal her once in her Huntington's disease, and it just attacked her, gave her massive headache. She had to lay in bed all day and all this sort of stuff and take medication. And now that these are also the crown is also connected to the symbols that cause her headaches and cause me luck, it's connected now. And one day I was wearing it to connect to the symbols and for desire to win the lotto again, some more money. And I was going outside, so I sat it on my freezer, and did what I had to do, and I came back inside and I forgot to pick up the crown. And I was sitting there just sipping my cup of tea, and because I did what I had to do outside, and then Louise was outside having a cigarette, and she came inside, and she was, I just remembered that I left it on the freezer and I didn't want her to touch it. So I got up really quickly, and I saw her stretching her hand out like she was touching it, but the wall was blocking the view. So I don't know if she touched it, which I think she did, because she got massive headaches again. So that's how I knew that it's connected to the symbols. And I had to tell her not to touch my crown because it's connected to the symbols and it will cause her pain. So hopefully she learns her lesson. She said she was afraid to touch it, and she didn't touch it, but I think she did touch it, trying to get a feel of it. Oh, excuse me. Trying to get a feel of it and trying to get luck to win the lotto as well or something. And it just attacked her. The symbols aren't good for anybody else, but they're only good for me. So it's strange, I know. It's very strange. But the symbols, they can appear anywhere, it seems. That's how I first originally found them, as they appeared in pictures I was looking at on the internet, you know. One lot I found in a, the arenas they used for the ancient gladiator battles. I found them on the walls while I was looking at them and thought I'd write them down. But when I went back to check the pictures, they were gone. So they can appear anywhere, because those videos on YouTube were where I paused them on the arenas, the walls, and that, looking at how they built the walls and things, and saw the symbols. They must have went back in time when the fellow was videoing the places, the different videos filmed at different places, and then went back and disappeared. I don't know how they do it. They appeared on my Gold Lotto ticket, and I won some money. I've been winning money since, and they cause Louise a lot of pain. a lot of pain, very painful for her to touch my symbols or go near them. So anyway, hopefully she's learnt her lesson not to touch this crown. And it's real turquoise. So if you want to infuse, you'll buy a crown from Australia. And she's on Etsy, and she has shell crowns as well and feather ones. I forget her. Yeah, it's right there at the tip of my tongue, but I just forget. But she is really, really good with making crowns, one of a kind. She won't make doubles. So you know your crown will be one of a kind. You can connect to symbols, your own symbols, not mine. Won't work on you because they could be very dangerous. Because coming from one lot of the symbols came from the arena where there's death and suffering. So that could cause death and suffering, which it does cause suffering on Louise. And she's dying anyway from Huntington's disease. We're all dying, so it doesn't faze me with what she says. She's dying, she's still here. But she cannot touch my crown. It's just too powerful. And I showed her me moving my crystal using the power, the energy of the crystal, moving it from one hand to the other without tilting my hand to roll it. It just rolled off. And she said, "What are you showing me?" I said, "Didn't you see it move?" So I did it again, and she tried it with her crystal, and it didn't work. So, surprise, surprise. It must be just me that can move the crystals. I gave one of my crystals that I used to move, only that crystal, all the time, and it worked all the time. It's a black one, and I gave that to my son so he could move it, but he can't move it. So it's just me that can move crystals, using their energy to move and my own energy to move the crystals. It somehow becomes my energy. The crystal energy becomes my energy, and I can move it with my energy. I don't know how it works. I don't know if I can move other things, but I'm pretty sure I can if I try. But I don't try, I don't bother. And touching my symbols, or the crown that's connected to the symbols, is going to be really, really dangerous for anyone that tries to touch it now that the symbols are connected to the crown. So I thought I would share that with you, the dangers of touching other people's things that are connected to symbols. Maybe you could get your own crown from, it's at the tip of my tongue, that store name, the shop, Marine Designs. That's the name, Marine Designs. She's in New South Wales, and she hand makes all her crowns. You can get one for yourself, knowing that no one else has the same one, and try and connect something to make it your own. It's a fun thing to do as well, and it's very, very interesting, because whether it works for you or not, which it will, because if you don't let other people touch it while you're infusing it with your own symbols, or get some runes or something, make it your own. But this one is connected to my symbols, not the Reiki symbols, my symbols, the ones that I found. And they're real turquoise. Lovely tassels and tie up at the back. So you've got extra, movement there. Very lovely. But what's strange about it is that the symbols did connect to it and cause the same fate to Louise with headaches as it did when I tried to heal her. She got massive headaches. So she, touching it, I told her, I said, look, you can't touch my crown or go near it anymore. It'll only cause you headaches or more danger. She said she was so afraid to touch it. She felt so afraid. So it's probably gotten into her brain, the fear, the headaches it caused. And then she got headaches again after touching it. I'm pretty sure she touched it because she wouldn't have got headaches if she, or she might have went too close to it. I'm not sure, but I reckon she touched it, trying to get the luck or something. But anyway, I thought I'd share that information with you, that my crown is now infused with my symbols and no one can touch it. Of course, there's so much danger. The weather here in Rockhampton is cloudy and there's some dark clouds and my arthritis hasn't flared up. My symbols, every time they flare up, I use my symbols and the pain goes. It goes, if it doesn't work straight away, I put the symbols around me and it goes that way. I get healed that way. It does work on me. But unfortunately, it doesn't work on anyone else. So that's a strange thing. And how they appeared on my gold lotto ticket is also strange. And they're even just as strange being infused into my crown as well. And no one can touch it or something will happen to them. I don't know what else they would cause, but one of the lot of symbols I found was in, the ancient arenas where the gladiators fought to death. I found them on the walls while I was watching a video. I paused it and was looking at the walls and how they built them, the stains on them, if they were blood or if it was the colour of the bricks and things like that, and found the symbols. After finding symbols in different countries and different parts of Europe, I went back to see the symbols again and they were gone. So they can appear in the past and disappear, however they do it. The same video, so that's very peculiar. So they're very strange and they're very powerful. So no one will be touching this without suffering, because the symbols, one of them was found in the gladiator arena, symbolising death and suffering. They went through a lot of suffering and death, pain and loneliness, hardship, whatever, but mainly suffering and death. So I wouldn't want anybody to touch the crown because it's connected to those symbols and other areas. So all connected to there, and I just wear it to connect to my symbols and think about them if I want desire or if I just want to be healed, I just wear my crown. So this has marine designs. She makes her own if you want to get your own crown, and Australian made, handmade, and have connect your crown to maybe some runes or something, or make your own symbols up, or go look for some symbols on the internet that seem strange in the pictures. Grab them. Why not? I did. Connected to them, and I have very powerful symbols now, and a very powerful crown now that symbolizes that energy, that power. So you got to have your own crown when you have strange things going on. You've got to connect to it with that way and wear it. A piece of jewelry, ring, you even have a magical ring for yourself, or a necklace, and connect it that way and wear it and connect that way. I decided to connect with the crown. I mean, if this goes missing, someone steals it or something, I don't know how they'll get in. But if it goes missing, if Louise decides to steal it wearing gloves and decides to steal it and without care of what I would do to her, it would cause her great harm. But I would just get another one and connect it. And take a while to connect, and it takes a lot of, you did the symbols, drew the symbols in air over it, and I meditated, and I sat the crown on top of the symbols every day, all night, until they got infused with the crown and became one. So, but no one can touch your crown if you do it that way. Anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you. Hope you all are healthy. What about those poor people overseas in America? They're flooding and fires and terrible things going on. It's arguments with governments and things. Not that there isn't always arguments. There's always arguments with different governments all over the world. Our governments argue and despise each other and so forth. Anyway, the world is crazy. You can make it better for yourself. Connect to some symbols.